There are going to be times when you don't get them.
Yes.
He was particularly congenial.
Yes, he was. Too congenial for us.
I don't think I was. I think I was more realistic than anything.
You were great on the golf course, too.
So you've got to know that there are going to be buyers who are just going to be absolutely obstinate.
Right.
This isn't about getting everybody. It's about getting a larger percentage of them. Kathy, is it?
Yes.
Aren't you, Kathy?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Sisters.
Kathy.
Diane.
Yes, our mom calls us both Cat.
What with the K and what with the C?
Kathy with the K.
What with the K and what with the C?
Both C. Mom
Kathy
is
with the
smart.
C.
She names both.
You're the buyer, I'll do the agent.
So, England,
Hello, Ken Weilder speaking.
hi Ken. I'm calling about your listing on Shade Street.
Shane?
Shade.
Shade. Oh, you picked a great property. Can I tell you a little bit about
You
it?
don't know Cambridge, do you?
It's a great property.
Okay.
It's a great location.
You picked a little bit of a shady area.
I'm a first-time buyer, maybe that's all I can afford, so.
Fair, fair enough. I was kidding about the shady area.
I was too, that's
But
it.
there are some really, really good, nice features about this property. Can I tell you a little bit about it?
Certainly.
I go ahead and tell her about some features that are obviously the best features about the house. Kathy, does this sound like something that you'd be interested
No,
in
you haven't
seeing?
told me the price yet.
No, you're right. We haven't. What price range are you in?
What's it listed at?
$299,900.
Oh, that much for that street?
Is that within your range?
I could.
No.
Can I see it right now? I'm right in front of the house.
You can't, but we're going to discuss that in a minute. But did you say that's not in your price range?
It could be.
It could be. How do you know?
I'm pre-qualified for that amount, but I don't necessarily want to spend that much.
Gotcha.
That's why I'd like to see the house right now if you're available.
Can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
I know you've been pre-qualified. You've gone a step that it's a very important step, and most first-time buyers don't take that step, so my hat goes off to you.
Oh, but I'm not a first-time buyer.
But you
Sorry.
said you were a first-timer.
That was before I got to know you.
Well, at least you're pre-qualified. I need to ask you this question. One of the services that I provide, and I do extremely well at it, is getting people better mortgages than they currently have and get on their own. If I could better your mortgage for you, would that be of value to you?
I've already gone to mortgage brokers. How can you do better?
You never know. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but if I'm able to.
If you're able to, sure.
I normally can. The majority of the time I usually can. If I can, that's great. That's the first thing. The second thing is, the seller has asked me specifically not to bring anybody through the home that's not yet qualified, that I know is qualified for the home. If you were the seller, I'm sure you would appreciate that kind of professionalism as well. It will take about 10 minutes just to sit down and get to know each other a little bit so that I can get a feel for you, and then I'd be more than happy to take you through the house. Would you like that? Would you like to do that days, evenings, or weekends?
Ken, I'm already qualified. I just want to see the house.
No, I appreciate you are, but that's like going to a doctor and saying, I've got such and such a disease. He's still going to do an examination on you.
Ken, I'm already qualified.
No, I understand that you're qualified. But I've told you that my seller has asked me specifically not to take anybody through who I personally haven't met. I'm sure you would appreciate that if you were the seller.
Can I meet you there?
No. I get it. You've been going from listing agent to listing agent to listing agent.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I just want to find my own property.
Listen, I operate a little bit differently. I know that you're going to see that as soon as, if you haven't seen it already, you're going to know that as soon as you meet me. But there are several other advantages too. Let me give you one of them. For instance, I have a system that I've been refining for years and years. Been in the business 24 years. We've refined the system, and here's what you can take advantage of. If I get a very clear picture of what it is that you're looking for, as far as location, price, and any amenities that you need, I can go into my system and find exactly what you're looking for and give you the entire universe of properties that fit exactly that description. And that will take me all of 10 or 15 minutes.
But Ken,
Would that be advantage to
what
you?
you're offering. But I just want to be next to my friend, and she lives on that street, so can I see the house?
No, I'm sorry, Kathy. It's out of my hands. I would love to show it to you. I really would. I'm in the business of selling homes. I'm sure you can appreciate that my hands
So
are
can I
tied.
call my friend down the road and he can show me the house?
Well, he has to make the appointment with me.
No problem.
If that's how you choose to do it, that's fine. But let me ask you one more time. Give you the opportunity of showing you that that may or may not be the house for you. In fact, the stats tell me that about 1% of people who go see a house from a sign actually end up buying it. That means you have a 99% chance of buying something else. Would it not be of value to you if I was able to give you every property that's in that street and in that neighborhood and or subdivision right now that fit exactly what it is you're looking for?
But Ken, I've been watching that street for the last year and there's been nothing on the market.
Okay. Now we're at a point where I've given her so many carrots that I don't think I'm interested in her.
Bait in the butt.
There will come a time, and I've tried, I think, 6 or 7 times with 3 or 4 different carrots. And her role here, and it may very well be that a real buyer's role is not to ever become your client.
The distance, the resistance, that's what they
No,
do.
it's not the resistance, because you started this conversation. Didn't matter what I was going to say, you weren't meeting me.
But that's what I get with lots of clients.
Only because you don't give them enough carrots.
You've got to change your
Maybe.
thought.
If we give them enough carrots and they still say no, great. Thank them very much for not wasting your time.
Another thing you could say, Ken, if I can meet you in 1.5 hours at the office, I'll have you in that house in 2 hours.
Yeah.
You could say that too.
Well, I want to take the energy away
Give
from
them a
showing that
time.
house,
Give them a
because
time.
that's not what I'm there to do.
I think, and I'm sure you have something to this, but I think a lot of us go through the experience of what Kathy has just realized, and of course you're giving them carrots, and that's fantastic. But like you said, if somebody is in that frame of mind, right? I think that the important part is too, and you've done a great job there as well, is to try to give them those carrots. The same token is recognize sometimes that you're not going to win them all. And you said that right at the beginning almost with this conversation, is to recognize who this buyer is and whom you're going to work with. Because at the end of the day, it's too, is you're right. If you don't sign them up, then you don't want to be driving them around, right? And,
You don't even want to show them your home.
right. So and so what you're doing is trying to re-educate the buyer. And I think part of the problem today too is that so many buyers nowadays are the me generation or the now generation, you know, and that's why the Loblaws and the Sobeys of the world have changed their way of offering products so that not only do you go in and get yourself some celery and a loaf of milk and bread, now you're getting your children's winter boots and hats and scarves, right? So, and I'm sure you have something to that, but I just wanted to add that because I know she has some resistance, but I think we're all going to be looking for that type of answer too, is how do we change the thought of the buyer who is the I want it all now, I'm sitting in front of the house, I want it now mentality.
And
Well,
they
the
know
answer-
there's lots of agents. They
Sure.
know
They
that they'll just call somebody else.
But they also know,
That's true.
through the energy of your voice over the telephone, that there may be something different about you.
But at that point,
And I think the more typical buyer is somewhere in between these two.
Yeah.
Ken, at that point, are you not doing your seller a disservice by not showing the property?
No. I think you're doing your seller a disservice if you do show the property.
How? Explain it, please.
I think there's several reasons, but 2 obvious ones. I think that
It's a hit and miss.
if you were a seller and you knew that your agent was bringing in buyers who they had no idea if they were qualified or not, they didn't even know confirm their first and last name, would you appreciate that? That's first of all. That's from wasting, you know, people don't like people coming through their home all the time. So if we could limit it to the people who are really qualified, that is what our service should be. The second reason is one of the reasons that the seller hires us, one of the many reasons, is for security. We're taking some Tom, Dick, or Harry from the street who we don't even know if that's their true name, into their home, into their private residence.
And as a female, wouldn't you want to meet that person in your office first?
And as a,
Certainly.
excellent point, Kathy.
Absolutely.
Excellent point. So I think we're doing ourselves, our industry, our professionalism, and our clients, our seller clients, a disservice.
You could even use a security statement to that buyer.
You absolutely can, especially if you're a woman.
Yeah,
And it works really, really well with women. You know what, sir? I can appreciate that you want to see the house, and I'm sure you can appreciate my position. I'm a woman, you're a man, and I want to make sure that I'm safe and secure. Would you mind meeting me in my office for the first 10 minutes, please? It's a great line. Let's take a 10-minute break.